Coming up on today's show, we have the latest Disney news and rumors, and we'll dive into any other interesting tidbits that we may come across. That's coming up today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everybody, to Traveling with the Mouse. This is episode 449, and I am your host today. I am Jason. It has been a long time since I hosted, but I am not going to do it alone. I have brought along two of my favorite co-hosts. First, we have Adam.
What's up, everybody? That's me.
How are you doing this evening, Adam?
Doing well. Very well.
Good. Would you rather be at Disney right now?
I would,
Okay.
because I have no kitchen in my house, but other than that...
Okay. But that's kind of always the case, that you would love to be at Disney more.
Yeah. Of course, there's
Okay.
no kitchen in Disney hotel rooms unless you're DVC.
That's true.
Which
Well,
I'm not.
in addition to Adam, we also have John.
You gotta dig a little deeper. Find out when Tiana's opening.
That's
when-
right. We are anxiously awaiting still the opening date of Tiana's Bayou Adventure and the pass holder previews. At least at the time of this recording, there has
Yep.
been no dates announced. We were hoping that somewhere in early to mid-June so that we could maybe make it. However, as the days creep along, it's starting to seem less and less likely that that is going to happen.
We've talked about
Adam,
this.
you have a trip coming up, though. Doesn't look like it's going to get a Tiana's preview for sure, because that is a Memorial Day trip. That is definitely out of the question, I think, at this point.
Yeah, it's not going to be Memorial Day. I would have to go back after that. That's going to happen.
Could potentially be Memorial Day for preview. Not likely that they would
I
do
think
that
they
on
would have
Memorial
announced
Day.
the preview by now.
Unlikely, yeah. Yeah, right before this, we were looking at Tron's preview. I guess that was the most recent one. And February 16th was the day you could book them for early March, so it was about 2 weeks after that, guess?
Right, but they started cast member, because cast members went first for Tron.
Yeah, they had already started cast members at that point, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there have been people on it. I assume they were
True.
right,
cast
but those are
members.
Imagineers.
we would have heard about it if
But
it was
they are
cast members.
technically cast members.
Oh, if there's cast members, then one
We'd
of
hear
these
about it.
fights would have gotten in somehow.
I mean, Josh Tomorrow may have written it. I don't know.
You never know if Josh Tomorrow's written it. Maybe they brought Chapek in to write it. You never know.
Well, apparently Bob Iger wrote it and said it was boring. That was one of the things about, 4 or 5 months ago?
He said it
that
was what?
wasn't boring. That was one of the news stories back in...
Really?
Maybe they spruced it up because of that, but that was a news story like 6 months ago, maybe. I don't know.
You know how Iger is. Always a tough eye for things, right?
Who knows if that's true either, but
Right?
Well,
That was the story.
stuff like that could make a difference, I guess. I do remember, this is going back a ways, but whenever they first changed Imagination, right? And their first incarnation, we'll say, of the new Imagination, which didn't have Figment in it, right? Didn't feature Figment. But it was open for not very long before they changed it. And one of the reasons Michael Eisner rode through it and basically said, "This sucks. You
Well,
guys got to change it. You got to make some adjustments here."
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, a couple of other holidays to celebrate. May the 4th be with you all.
indeed. Revenge of the
How are you
Fifth.
planning to celebrate your May the 4th?
May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th, and what do we do for the 6th?
Well, the 5th is Cinco de Mayo, so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Quattro
Yeah.
de Mayo. I'm going to have a Quattro de Mayo party.
okay.
How are you now?
I wanted us to flash back a
Yeah.
little bit because it is, early May 2024. Remember 4 years ago, of course, we were in the throes of COVID, but do you remember what the big scare was in early May? Can you remember which
Scare?
part of the COVID journey we were on in early May?
No.
Drinking bleach? I don't know. What was our...
We entered the murder hornet phase.
Oh,
my
the
God,
murder hornets. Yeah.
the murder hornet phase.
Right.
How could I have forgotten the murder hornets? Yeah.
It's
They were
got its
gonna come and kill us
got
all.
its 15 minutes of fame.
If COVID didn't get you, the murder hornets will.
Right.
Yes.
I was like, it'd be like, why are you concerned about the murder hornets? You're not going outside. Oh, wait.
Right. No, that's when it was like, no, it's okay to go outside, but you have to
Get murdered.
still wear a mask, and then you're going to get killed by a murder hornet. So just stay inside.
He's like, you can go outside if you want to, but I'm telling you, there's murder hornets out there.
Exactly.
Stay inside, drink bleach, and wipe out all your mail with like Clorox wipes.
Oh,
Anyway,
man.
how far
Crazy.
we've come.
Before we dive into the park news, I wanted to congratulate, since I haven't been on the show in a while, and one of the segments I always bring up, Nate Jepson 11 on Twitter is the handle, completed the Every Ride WDW challenge with
Hey.
Heart Ticket on April the 30th, posting a near perfect. I didn't watch the run live, but looking at it, it was a pretty flawless execution, I could see.
Really?
Opened with a full grail of Animal Kingdom, finishing by 9:30, only
And-
using a lightning lane for safaris, hopping to Magic Kingdom just to pick up People Mover, Carousel of Progress, Riverboat, and Railroad. He did not ride the rafts because this is every ride.
Yeah.
Right. Then hopping to Epcot and doing a full grail using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like 7 lightning lanes at
7 or
Epcot,
8.
1 individual lightning lane and single rider. So just crushing it. Then going to Hollywood Studios and grailing it using
Wow.
6 lightning lanes, an individual lightning lane and a single rider line. And then coming back to Magic Kingdom by 8:13 p.m. to grail the rest of it out, finishing just before midnight on Tron.
Wow.
So 50 rides. Nate Jepson. I don't know if this person has run before because it's not someone I've followed before, but I mean, if this was his first attempt, that's a fantastic attempt. Fantastic.
Completion. I was using deluxe hours.
Yeah. I was wondering if we were going to be seeing more attempts starting again, considering the park hopping restrictions have lifted and there have been more long days returning back to Disney World. So pretty exciting.
It's that time of year where it's a good time to do it.
Well, I saw I forgot which site it was on, but a story talking about like Rise of the Resistance and its wait times, how it's changed already over, I don't know, how long has it been since it's been open, like 19, so it's been 5 years. What they gauged it on was May the 1st, so a couple of days ago, right? A few days ago. And there was a point, they did it like hour by hour, what they saw the wait being. So it was, of course, it was a little on the high side at the beginning. It only reached about as high as about maybe 60, 65 minutes. But the low point, this is during the day, not near the end of the day. It got as low as 30 minutes around midday.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's because by the time it never has long enough for people to back the line up before it breaks down.
Right. Yeah, if it actually.
Now, there were some
runs.
times when it wasn't, when it says not operating or something like that. It did say
Yeah.
have a couple of those in there.
Right.
I mean, it's a 30-minute wait plus an hour and a half wait while it's down if you're in line.
Well, at least 45.
Maybe it's actually being more reliable. I mean, apparently those gunners are really suck the life out of it. So since those don't work,
Yeah, that gun room effect was really cool, but they just killed it forever.
Yeah,
guess-
it's like, why
was
was
just-
that messing up the whole ride? Yeah,
The
I
whole
mean, it's
timing
what it
of
makes you think, right?
right. They've
Oh, wow.
slowly scaled that back. Like, well, not slowly. They
They just
completely
stopped
scaled
doing
it
it.
back now. Yeah,
And it's like, these used to move. I don't believe you.
it's the Busby Berkeley scene of
Right. Like there's plenty of attractions that have something like that happen, right?
the Yeti, obviously.
Yep. There you go. The Yeti. That's a good example.
Yeah,
Right before we started recording, at least I hadn't seen it until right then, it had just dropped. The map for Disney's Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point has dropped. So
someone dropped it.
taking a look to see what that looks like.
And you picked it up, and you're gonna
Yeah. Show it to us. No, it
So
looks
I don't know
cool,
if you guys have seen it yet, but maybe pick it up and look. It looks like the ship is going to only maybe be viewable by the cabanas, because it looks like the cabanas are right there by the ship.
Mhm.
But then you take what looks like maybe a shuttle over to the main area where all the rest of the stuff is in the family base. So you won't have a view of the ship there, it looks like.
Let me look.
So right there where the ship is, where you walk on, it looks like there is a charter boat check-in area, a smoothie shop, first and last chance stand. So that looks like that's the shop. And then there's a set of cabanas. So the Mabrika Cove cabanas are available. Okay, so you got one set of
Interesting.
cabanas right there in that beach. Then you could have a pretty long tram ride into the main hub
Yeah, I
lookout
see.
key, which is not facing the same beach at all. It's facing the completely opposite side of the island.
Yeah, so there's no cruise ship in the distance, as you said,
Right.
when you're in the main area.
And the family beach is adjacent to Serenity Bay, right? So it looks like they're basically just right next to each other. There are Serenity Bay cabanas up there, but it does not look like there are cabanas on the family beach itself. So if you're doing a cabana with your family, you're off away from everything.
Yeah.
Unlike
It's not
Castaway
necessarily
Key,
a
where
bad
you're
thing.
like away, but you can still walk over and do some of the slides.
Main stuff,
But
yeah.
I'm assuming they're going to have slides or something. I can't see. I don't know if they have that out there. Rush Out, Gush Out, Family Water Play, Play Pavilions. So they haven't put in here if there's going to be any slides. But if they're over there on the family beach, it's a tram ride away.
Wow.
It's an interesting layout here.
Looks like you could bike that trail instead of tramming it, but that would be a very long walk if you were going to walk it. But
Yep. The other thing is barbecue is still there. It is not cookies. It is True Barbecue and True 2 Barbecue.
okay.
So still with the barbecue, but different name.
But of course, barbecue.
Of course.
Has to be.
That's what we do nowadays.
Blue Hole Bar.
So I guess
Blue Hole
technically,
Bar.
since they did barbecue on the cruise line initially, that is where it all started, right? So now, I guess it really started with the cruise line, the barbecue infatuation.
Wow.
My initial reaction is I want to see it, but I like the Castaway Key with the ship off in the distance while you're sitting on the beach.
That
It's
is
just
cool, yeah. You kind of, I guess here you feel like you're in another world almost.
I guess
too
it could
far
work,
away.
especially since a lot of the cruises will probably make a stop at both islands.
Yeah,
Right?
I would love to do that itinerary with just the two islands as the stops.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Trying to see if there's anything else on here that might be of interest. Obviously, they have a walking path. They have plenty of bars, which is good.
Yeah.
It's a
Visiting
beach.
teams.
Bicycle rentals. You don't get the bicycle rentals till you get off the tram.
Oh, so you can only bike back?
I don't think you can bike the tram path. You can only do the... you can do the bike path.
No, I was gonna say there's
It
got to
looks
be a
like-
trail.
Looks like there's a path to the side maybe of it, but
Yeah, so you could bike that. And it looks like there's a bike path that goes up north to somewhere that's not pictured.
yeah, I see. Or you could go down to the south
To like the lookout point,
point.
which is
itself.
probably why it's called Lookout Key.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it says there's a historic landmark down there.
Apparently.
Interesting.
Is that where they're going to put the statue of Bob Chapek?
Yeah. Out to sea.
Yeah. Anyways, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's going to be fun to see when that finally opens.
Yeah, they showed construction pictures. That's what I thought you were talking about originally. I saw a few of those. It looks like it's getting there. It's supposed to open next year, right? Is that
No, it's actually scheduled to open June 6th.
what? Doesn't look like it's ready for that.
Well, I mean, unless I'm getting old information, I thought it was supposed to be it's June 6th. First sailing to Lighthouse Point will be a 3-night cruise from Fort Lauderdale on the Magic. That's
Huh.
June. So,
Looks like they've got some more work to do on the pictures that I saw, but
yeah, it still says open June 6th, 2024, so it's not long.
wow. Okay. Well, the pictures don't look like it's ready yet. Maybe they'll do a lot in a month.
I wonder how close it is to what Joe Rohde designed.
Right. Or how much they scale it back.
Yeah.
I'll have to go look at the original concept art and see if it matches.
I figure, let's see. No, Joe Rohde pretty much had this in place before he left, right? So, I mean, surely they would.
Well, he probably had designed a lot more, and then they decided how much they were going to actually do.
I mean, I would like to think most of the people that worked on it anyway, respected him enough to carry out the wishes as best they knew how.
So, Adam,
Yeah.
pivoting a little bit, you have a trip that you're in theory taking for Memorial Day.
In theory.
Yeah.
In theory, I
Possibly.
mean, he
Could
is
change.
working on a kitchen in his house that may derail things a little bit.
Depends on how smoothly that goes, yeah.
At the conclusion of your trip, are you going to be taking advantage of the bounce back offer that they have now extended further?
Tell me more.
So guests can save up to 35% when they book their next Walt Disney World stay within 7 days of their current checkout date. And they've added 2025 days into the bounce back offer choices.
Interesting.
So when is the marathon or half marathon that you're doing?
January 11th?
Okay. It's not you would have been able to do it if it was January 13th through the 16th or January 2nd through the 8th.
I figured they'd skip marathon weekend because they know everyone was coming that weekend anyway.
I was about to say, yep, you should have known that one.
Should have known.
Yep.
Speaking
So
They have no incentive to get you to come there on marathon. The marathon itself.
Yeah. They already know everyone's going to be there anyway, so.
ends up being
Let's charge them more.
35% for deluxe, 30% for moderates, or 25% for values on these dates.
Not terrible. It's not bad at all.
So just start chaining your visits together,
Yeah. I mean, I might do that. So what date's in 2025? It's anything after marathon, essentially?
Oh, it looks like a lot of weekday trips.
Yeah, okay.
A whole month of September is on there. It's a whole bunch of dates, but, there's some decent options there if you're looking to go ahead and get the next trip booked.
Maybe.
They're having trouble, it seems like, filling up over the next remainder of the year and going into next year, a little softer booking than they're probably used to.
Right.
Might have something to do with how expensive it's gotten to go.
Yeah. Could also be the prepping for next year being soft year, most likely.
Yep.
Speaking of Run Disney, I have a gripe.
Okay, let's hear your gripe. Let's hear your gripe, Adam.
So this is the first time I've ever dealt with, signing up for the Run Disney, which I know most people who already have probably are preaching to the choir. But just like everything else, it's very difficult to get a spot. And I was going to be running with a friend of mine who's also named Adam. And I, about a month ago now, got in the virtual queue, blah, blah, blah. 90 minutes later, I was able to get a spot for me. But my friend Adam did not get a spot. He was about 10 minutes behind me. And it was full before he could book it. But, of course, with anything, you do some research and, Disney opens up spots just randomly here and there. So it's opened up probably about 4 times since the last month, I guess. And I've gotten into the virtual queue like 3 out of those 4 times. And it was booked up before I got out of the queue. Today, it opened up. I immediately got in. I was filling out the form. It looked like everything was good. I go to pay. I hit register, and it goes, oh, it's full. So, so I even called them, and I'm like, I'm sure you get this call a lot. And he was like, yes, we do. He's like, there's only a few spots that open up, and You just didn't fill out the form fast enough. Whoever got the last spot got in right before you did, obviously. So I'm just like, okay, but if you let me in to register, like, you should at least hold a spot for like 2 minutes or something. Like, let me fill out the form, because I have to fill out a ton of information before you can book it. Like, I can understand, oh, you're in the virtual queue. Oh, it's full. You didn't get in. But if you let me get to the registration page, right? Even Ticketmaster holds a ticket for you for like 8 minutes, right? Something like that.
Right.
Why can't they, like,
Even Ticketmaster?
Right.
Ticketmaster, like one of the most evil companies out
Yes. And Disney can't do that. So, of course, the guy had zero sympathy for me. But yeah, I'm just like, if you let me get to the registration, then at least hold a spot for me for like a couple of minutes to let me fill out the form. But nope, I have to like blaze through that as fast as I can too, just to book it. So
You should know from their virtual queue system and
right.
everything else that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Which, I mean, I've been lucky enough to get the pass holder previews a lot, but I think I missed one of them. I forgot which one now. There was one we didn't get.
And then there's one that I
Guardians,
got in,
maybe?
and it was just not.
Guardians.
I think it was Moana or something. The dates were just awful.
Yeah,
Guardians didn't last no time. Well, like it was not very well done. Let's put it that way.
yeah. Was it Guardians we missed? It may have been Guardians.
It was.
Yeah, that was the one we tried, and it just nothing was left by the time we got. But for the most part, I've been able to get those. But the Run Disney registration, especially if you're filling someone else's information out, like I have to like type it. Like it's not like saved. Like right. So it took me. I'm just gonna have to like put my information in there and then hope I can change it later. I don't know.
If I recall,
I don't know what to do.
If I recall, wasn't it a lot easier to do the previews for Tron?
Tron wasn't hard. I got in on the first day, I think. So I don't know. I don't remember, but it wasn't difficult.
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge was easy.
Well, Adam, it sounds like your complaint has been registered.
Yeah, right. And they do not care because
I'm pretty sure.
Was it registered with?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that the head of Run Disney listens to our podcast, so I'm sure it will be resolved momentarily.
Yeah, they'll just give me a spot randomly.
It'll be resolved momentarily, just like the monorail doors.
Yeah.
Monorail Blue is under refurbishment, by the way, Adam, just in case you're wondering.
That's good to know. They're all doing a second round, or was it third round of refurbs of the monorail? I was just to put a button on that Run Disney thing. There is a Twitter account or X account that gives alerts anytime the registration for any event opens up, and so that's what I've been using. And as soon as I get that alert, I have it bookmarked to where I just go straight to the registration page. But I forgot the Twitter account. It's like Run Disney.
Why would you advertise that when you're competing against everyone else?
Because it doesn't matter. Like, the people who know already know anyway, right? So,
right. It's the Run Disney people is already niche, right?
Exactly, yeah. So they already know.
They know.
Right. Yeah. So the ones who know already know. And yeah, it's just Run Disney Alerts is the Twitter handle. But you got to be, honestly, you have to be faster than that, because usually by the time you get in, it's already full. Like, by the time you get the alert, you have like 5 seconds. Anyway.
Oh, well.
Sorry. I just had to rant.
Thank you. Thank you for your review. We will consider it and get back to you momentarily.
Yeah.
With no sympathy.
Exactly.
Thank you for calling Disney.
Have a magical day.
And that's the conversation we've had. Disney doesn't have to. Like, they don't need to give sympathy to anybody or any kind of.
That misses out on something? Yeah, I know.
Right. It's like, so what? There'll be 2 people to replace you with, so we don't need you.
Trust me, I remember the missing out on Rise. So.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Maybe a few more things for us to chat about. Maybe a few more things. I don't know. I haven't watched this, so I was going to see if we could get a reaction out of this, if anybody has. Maybe
Okay.
from you, Adam, if you've seen it. The
What?
Mufasa trailer. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't watched the trailer yet. Maybe we should pause and watch it together.
I don't know.
I mean, Mufasa was my favorite character when I was a kid. Lion King was my favorite by far of the Renaissance era.
It was
films.
probably the peak.
Yeah, it definitely was the peak. It was the Frozen of the Renaissance era.
So if it's the Frozen, what's the Little Mermaid of the Frozen era? Rapunzel, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Tiana?
Or
Tiana?
or Tiana. Yeah, could be that one. Yeah, Princess of the Frog, possibly.
Right.
Where's Mufasa trailer? I'm trying to find it.
So wait a minute. Is this animated? I don't even know.
It's live action.
No, it's live
Okay, well,
action-ish.
I'd rather not.
Is this Favreau again? Doesn't he do those?
Doesn't he do what, live action?
Yeah, he did the live action like Jungle Book and Lion King, didn't he?
Lin-Manuel Miranda's doing the music.
If that's the case, he needs to stick to Star Wars. I'm just saying.
A lot of people love these live action.
It's directed by Barry Jenkins, produced by Adele Romansky, Mark Surak.
Okay,
Executive produced by Peter Tobiasen, and then of course it's music by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
So they've already moved on.
You mean they brought Lin-Manuel back?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as how they didn't use him, what was it they didn't use him in? Wish and something else.
Yeah, which they should have used him for Wish because a lot of people didn't love that movie or the songs either.
Well, I don't think a lot of people went to the theater to see it, but that's just kind of the trend nowadays. You really have to have a really attractive feature in order to get people to go to the theater now. They just wait until it's on Disney Plus.
Have they gotten James Earl Jones to do an AI voice of his voice yet, so that he can live on forever as Mufasa and Darth Vader?
I guess.
Wait,
were you just saying? I got to question something a second. Were you just saying people loved the live action, those two in particular? Because I didn't think anybody. All I heard was people crapping on the ones that involved the animals.
Well, they did well, didn't they? I thought they performed well at the box office because there was 2 Jungle Books, right? Wasn't there 2 Jungle Books?
There were live action?
Didn't they? Am I wrong?
All that.
I mean, I'm watching the trailer now. It looks cool, but it's not something I would go see in theaters, you know?
Precisely. That's why I was just talking about all these looked at.
Right.
Which, truthfully, have you seen Wish? Well, no, we were just talking about Wish. Have you guys seen Wish?
I haven't.
It's actually, you should give it a chance. I mean, it's like, again, like I said, it's nothing that was going to motivate me to go see it while it was still in theaters. But now that it's out and I've watched it, I'm like, it's actually good.
Right. Speaking of theaters, I was talking about that earlier, but Phantom Menace 25 years ago, I thought about going to see it again. Maybe.
It was, I remember, like I told you in the chat, I think I was like, I saw it like 3 times back then. So I think I'm good.
Right. Well, I mean, I've seen it a lot since then too, but
yeah.
Didn't we also see that I saw someone note it that they were going to do a marathon at the Disney Springs Theater, that they were going to play all 9 in a row?
Oh, that'd be cool. Well, in a row. That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, AMC, Disney
36
Springs.
hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, how long is that?
Well, what do they average? They average a little over 2, right?
Yeah. So it's like 24
Some
hours.
of them are longer.
Yeah, the most recent ones are like 2, almost 3 hours each. I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah, so this is, fans have the opportunity to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 1 by seeing all 9 episodes of the Skywalker Saga in theaters. Guests attending this premium event will receive a special limited poster and a free small combo. That's all you get for 35 straight hours.
How long is it? No.
It's forever. Okay, so here's where you could see it, although by the time this happens, by the time we release this, it will be over.
I know what you're searching right now.
Disney Springs is showing it. In California, they have one in Mission Valley. Kansas has it. Virginia has one in Tyson's Corner. Colorado gets it. Illinois gets it. And New York gets it.
Heh.
So,
Really? I want to just go see Phantom Menace. I do have good... I do have fond memories of this movie because this was the first Star Wars movie I saw as like a youngling
As a youngling,
in theaters.
and you survived.
Yeah, right, I did.
And you didn't go see Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, exactly. Good. No, I was older then, but I was, 13? 13? Yeah, when
That sounds
Phantom
about right.
Menace came out. So the total runtime of all 9 films is 20 hours and 39 minutes.
I wonder how much of a break they're going to do in between each movie.
Do you know which one is the shortest
Of the films?
of all 9?
Empire?
I would assume the first one, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe Jedi. Is it one of the
New
first
Hope.
ones?
New
Okay.
Hope is 2 hours and 1 minute.
Then I would
And-
assume whatever the last one is the longest one because Hollywood
Yeah.
just keeps making them longer. Am I
Yeah.
right?
It's actually Last Jedi is the longest.
I gotta say, that doesn't surprise me.
2 hours and 32 minutes.
It was pretty torturous.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, so that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going to go walk all day.
20 hours and 39 minutes of Star Wars.
All right.
There it is.
Yeah,
Again,
I don't think I could do that.
I don't know if this... I assume this is the special editions. I don't know.
Of course, no one ever goes back and does the originals of the
Right.
Original trilogy. It's
I'm
like
sure they're
like,
runtime. Yeah.
it's like banned from being seen now.
Right. Yeah, you have to go find bootlegs of people who have restored the original version to get
Pretty much.
unaltered original. Did they do any changes to Phantom Menace? I don't think George Lucas ever got to that point before he sold it off, where he would change the Phantom Menace or the prequels at all.
Right, yeah, he didn't get an opportunity.
You probably would have. I think there's definitely some digital effects in Attack of the Clones that could have been better. I was actually impressed with Phantom Menace though when it came out.
At the time. It was a little too CGI heavy. Although I don't think people viewed it that way at the time though. But it just got worse with Attack of the Clones with the CGI.
I was
Oh,
watching
God.
something this week in Star Wars,
Well,
and I had never really thought about this, but remember in the original, this is the sequence. Darth Vader, Obi-Wan.
yeah.
Darth Vader starts, "I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master."
Only a master of evil does. Yeah.
When they last saw each other, it was in the Obi-Wan series. And
10 years ago. Although
I remember.
Obi-Wan bested him again, in the Obi-Wan series, so I guess maybe that's what he's talking about.
Still kind of.
They pointed out how often they actually met now because they just keep adding more meetings of them.
Right, yeah. They kind of ruined some of the continuity a long time ago anyway.
Obi-Wan aged a heck of a lot in 10 years, too. But anyway.
But yeah, what was one of the first things that kind of got somewhat distorted? Oh yeah, basically who taught who, right? Whenever you first see Phantom Menace, like Obi-Wan's
Qui-Gon.
he's like
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon's never been mentioned before. The only
Well, of
person that
course.
Obi-Wan ever mentions is in the originals is
Yeah.
Yoda taught him, right?
Where the time that, right at the beginning, Obi-Wan sees R2 or C-3PO, he's like, I have no idea who these droids are.
Yeah. Right. I don't seem to remember owning a droid.
Although they always give decent explanations, I think. Like he was doing that on purpose, just like he withheld pretty much everything from Luke anyway, and like their whole relationship. The beginning of the relationship's all based on lies anyway.
From a certain point of view.
All right.
And I mean, C-3PO can't keep his mouth shut, and he didn't bother to just be like, ew, you just kissed your sister.
He had his
What?
memory erased.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, wasn't his a race actually before? Did they prove that or something between that
I
time?
think there was a line at the end of Revenge of the Sith where he was saying they would do that, didn't he? Was that... Am I making
I
that
don't
up?
remember.
Where he said they would wipe their memory or something.
Well, R2
Something.
R2's just R2 though. He doesn't say anything unless he wants to.
It's like he can't communicate very well, so they don't wipe his memory. He's the only person that remembers everything.
Adam, if you recall, it was only it's not quite a year ago, because I think it was June, that we went and stayed at the Treehouse Villa, and we were disappointed that we could not ride the boat. Well, once again, the boats are shut down. The river's too low.
I saw that.
Apparently just don't go during the summer if you want to ride on the Sassagoula River.
Yeah, I'm like, is this is it a drought that's happening again? Like, I forgot last year they said it was because it hadn't rained enough or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this what happens all the time now?
I guess. You just can't count on it. So don't go during the summer. I guess one last thing before we wrap up. Did you all see the lighting package on Tiana's Bayou Adventure at night as it's getting to its closest end? What was your take so far? How excited are you on a 1 to 10 for Tiana's before we wrap up?
An 11, and it looks like Pandora should have looked at night.
Should have looked.
Well, I mean, you can't see it at night anymore because Animal Kingdom closes at 2:30 in the afternoon now. So. Sorry.
Okay.
What about
you never really see Pandora at night anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's my point.
Oh yeah, it's doing what it's intended to do. Like have that what would we say, the Firefly feel or whatever you want to call it.
There you go. That's a good way to say it.
But yeah.
All right. Well, I'm very excited. I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Out of 10 for me. I'm ready for it. Maybe by this time next week when we record, we will have a date. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, maybe it'll be solid. They'll probably do it like the day we release this.
Right.
That's what we need. But
that's how it usually works.
Until that day comes, what's next for us? How can you stay in touch? Figure out where we're at.
Figure out where we are. There's always Facebook, Twitter, X. I do that every once in a while. And Instagram, that is all at TWTM Podcast. We have a Spreadshirt store. We can find our exclusive TWTM merchandise. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. And we have a YouTube channel, which you can find where, Adam?
Our website, travelingwiththemouse.com. You can email us podcast at travelingwiththemouse.com. And all those links and more for even our travel agent friends are listed there as well.
So for John and Adam, this is Jason. This has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on your next trip.
It's great branding when you rename something X and everybody still wants to call it Twitter because
that's just because
I use my Fast Pass on Twitter.
Right.
It's what you're used to for
Fast Pass on Twitter. Yeah, it's a good example too of let's just change. Why would we change something that makes perfect sense to something that makes no sense?
It always takes a while anytime you do a rebranding for it to catch on.
Right. Again, like MGM Studios, Hollywood Studios.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Took a while. Some people still haven't.
Just a couple.
Yeah. It's down to a couple at this point. But...
At least 2 I know of.
Right.
I mean, I still call it Anal Kingdom myself.
Anal Kingdom?
Well, if you position the photo just right.
Yeah. People are lining
We've
up for
seen
that shot now. Like, people are lining up for it every day to take the Anal Kingdom shot.
No.
Of course.
I'm going to get my mom, not unbeknownst to her next time. Just be like, stand right here, Mom.
Oh, brother.
Damn.